Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Crow Country. Oh, hello Natalie. Hi Natalie. How are you feeling? Not great. Yeah, me neither. Is it your mother? Yes. She died some time ago. I'm sorry. It's a beautiful statue. It's solid gold. Yeah, it must have been very expensive. Your dad really spared no expense, I guess. Did you find him yet? Mr. Crow? No, not yet. I'm still looking for your father, but I have a pretty good idea where he is. I just need to take the central elevator. Mara, what are you going to do when you find him? I need to talk with him. Are you going to kill him? What? No, of course not. Don't think I don't see that gun in your hand. I see it in your face, too. You've already made up your mind. Natalie. I know he's done bad things. Very bad things. Perhaps he is beyond forgiveness. But please, don't kill him. Bring him back to me, okay? Let me speak with him. One way or another, today might be my last chance. Please, Mara. Okay. In the last part, we finally accessed the underground section of Crow Country, and we finally saw the roots we've heard about in notes throughout the game. With that said, we can't access the central area at the moment, as we need to get another elevator active first. That's why we're here. Oh, hey, a camera. Video feed of a security camera. Wait a second, that's my car! Looks like Arthur's still inside. Arthur, can you hear me?
Mara, is that you? I can't see you. Where are you?
I'm in a control room.
A control room? Is it cool?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm jealous. You got to go on a real adventure.
Arthur, how are you feeling?
Not great.
Just stay there, okay?
Mara, are you coming back? Are we going to leave?
Yes. Sure, yeah. I'll be back soon.
Okay, good.
It's a monitor. It's a video feed from a security camera. It's showing something on the screen. It's moving. Hello? What are you? What do you want? It didn't respond. And on this metal panel, Crow Country Elevator Power Grid. It's an electrical grid with 5 little lights. One of the lights is red and the other 4 are green. This is why we needed that password you can get an either way from the office back there. 9218. Doing so opens up another cabinet with a lever that'll power on the final elevator. So we're done here, so let's shoot the Crystal Crow and move on. Video feed from security camera. There's nothing there? Where'd it go? Surprise! 4th and final mini-boss. This one is the beefiest by far and away, but it's also, I think, overall one of the slowest, but it has further range, I think. With that said, we're now locked in here. To release security gate, set floor panel code to 123456. If you look around on the floor, there are panels that are the faces of a die. You need to get them in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. With that said, this is one of the harder to skip mini-bosses, technically, in that you need to know ahead of time you need to input the code and get it all down to, like, the final step before the boss spawns in. And that is, well, you're not going to know to do that at all. Why don't you come with me? No, I don't want to know what's down there. I'll wait here. I mean, it's probably a safer place than a lot of the other places around here. So, at this point, a lot more enemies have spawned in, of course. But we at least have a distinct destination in mind. With that said, we can't exactly get to that central elevator at the moment, because if you look at where the maps all overlap, that is behind the Crow in the main hall, which we don't have a battery to make a move yet, as made note by a certain other note. With that said, we know where a battery we can use is, as it's over in the mermaids at Ocean Kingdom. With that said, we need to access the mermaids at Ocean Kingdom. With that said, with the items we've gotten up to this point, as well as turning off that gas flow from the room with Harrison James in the underground level, we can access the general vicinity of them. So that specific fade transition there was me starting the final recording session for the game. With that said, I should note, if you look at my numbers, or my health, and something seems off from what we were at a moment ago, that's because I did a practice run for every, like, 20 to 40 minute long gameplay section just about, and then actually did the main recording run. In me practicing the final leg of the game here, I accidentally saved over my main save, so I had to redo the prior recording session. And I tried to keep my resources about as equal as I could, but if there's something off on that, sorry, you can't do much about that now. Before we head off to Ocean Kingdom, though, there's one thing we want to take care of we saw all the way back in part 1. You might remember, there's a random pile of bones in this toilet. Well, the acid bottle can melt right on through that. And beneath that lies our next secret, another box of Magnum ammo. Thus, we've now collected all 15 secrets in the game. All that remains is a couple of Crystal Crows, and then we'll largely be at 100%. Well, on top of that, there's also some staff memos, and I think tips and tricks I haven't analyzed yet, but that's for them, this is now. Speaking of items we may have missed, though, I'm going to quickly make a stop in at the submarine here. Not to save, but to grab the Crystal Crow in there I missed earlier that someone in the comments probably pointed out by the time we get to this point. Hell if I know, this entire thing is recorded in advance. Right there, next to the gameplay magazine, 38 out of 42 for remain, and they're effectively all in this area. Worth noting, by the way, there are no Crystal Crows in the underground section of the game. Every Crystal Crow is in the above-ground theme park section of the theme park. Now that we have the gold key, we can also open this door over here, and if you look carefully, the door to the southwestern utility corridor is also open, so all passages we couldn't access in any regard here in Ocean Kingdom are now fully open to us. And which order you do them in really depends on what you want to do. I'd recommend coming into here first at the least. No, calling again, Mr. Crow, wherever you may be. It's a control panel. It's supposed to be how you operate the boat ride. I don't see the point in moving the boat if I'm not in it, but I can't reach the control panel while I'm sitting in the boat. I think I might need some help on this one. It's a hat. I wonder if sea captains really wear these hats. Or have I been lied to by cartoons? Hello?
You're still alive. I know it's dangerous up there. A lot of them got out into the open. But I know you brought a gun. Have you been killing them? The guests? They're in no shape to continue living. The ones that emerged more recently, even more so. As I continued the root excavation, the guests became even less... well, some of them aren't even bipedal anymore. It goes without saying that we cannot let them leave Crow Country. We cannot afford to let them infect anybody else.
What are they? Who are they?
They're irreversible.
He's gone. It's a pizza box. Old slices of pizza are still inside. I'm not hungry enough to do it. Well, we can't do much in there for now, so let's head out here and, I guess, go into the utility corridor. It's right there, after all. Might find something of note. First off, directly behind this door is our next Crystal Crow. As soon as I find where the reticle is, there we go. 3 remain. I noticed there's an elevator behind the large crow. Does it go anywhere? Does anyone use it? It always seems to be powered down. I figured it was broken, but somebody said there's a switch in Crow's office that turns it on. Again, you could do this area in a lot of different orders, so if you hadn't noticed the elevator behind it already just visually, that's a good hint for it on top of the other things we found. It's some kind of diagram. Empty battery, charged battery, crow. See another staff memo right there in a box, and did that box just move? Okay, I think I have it figured out. Bronze key, crank handle, ruby, chain, mask, trident, silver key, data disk, acid bottle, filled, golden key, large battery, charge. What an ordeal. I swear this one was written by the developers, because that's effectively the order of operations in the game itself. Alright, before we check out that box, let's see what's in this room. Well, outside of having a decent chunk of actual items for us, there's going to be another Crystal Crow in here, but it's a bunch of flickering numbers. I can't make sense of it. Here's where they dispose of the copper exterior, which... oh yeah, that's going to smell bad. It's giving me a headache. Now, I mentioned earlier in the LP that I completely missed the holding cell near the crypt on my first playthrough because I just didn't see the door. Rooms like that are completely optional outside of lore and Crow Quest, and I find that's really interesting. It's a shipping crate. Maybe I shouldn't... oh, hey! Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, kid. Julie, what happened? I'll tell you if you help me out of this thing. Of course, let's get you out of there. Thanks for the help. How'd you end up in the crate? Some guy grabbed me from behind and threw me in there. Some guy? Who was it? No idea. Didn't see his face. He had real sweaty hands, though. Oh, gross. Yeah, not an especially enjoyable experience, all told. I wonder if it was Marvin. He looked like he'd be kind of sweaty. Marvin who? Oh, nothing, don't worry. Just thinking out loud. I'm just glad you're safe. Yeah, listen, that's twice you've helped me out now. Let me know if there's any way I can return the favor. Alright, thanks. Will do. Anything I can do for you? Actually, there is something. I need to get through the boat ride in the Ocean Kingdom area. The Seven Seas? Yeah, I could use your help to operate the controls. Have you opened the door to the control room? Yeah, it's open. Nice work. I'll head to the control room and you go to the boat boarding area. See you there. So that's why I've effectively done this in the order of operations I have, because if you haven't investigated the main console in the control room, you can't ask Julie for help until you've done that. Very quick step to do, but still worth doing it in the right order. You ready to get in the boat? I'd strongly recommend you sit in the middle. You know, for balance. Wow. What? Alright, let's get into the boat then. This is why you would need to go turn the fumes off from that one room in the root area, because now we can actually go through this door and access the boat part of the Seven Seas. Worth noting, I think you can talk to Julie from this side, but I always forget to do that. To treasure chest. Oh, it's fake. It won't open. I'm feeling a very tangible sense of betrayal. I love Mara's dialogue, if I haven't said that before. One crystal crow remains. Also got a health pack hidden right there if you need it. It's the boat. I get it all to myself. Nice. Are you ready to go? Yeah, I think so. I can't guarantee this will be safe. Should I start the ride? Let's start it. Start the ride, Julie. And if you take a look at the map carefully, this is the last room of the theme park we've really yet to explore. We're getting real close here, folks. Well, this is green. Oh, that's eerie as hell. The white whale is blocking the boat. If I remember it right, he's supposed to move out of the way. But I think it's done manually from the control panel. Wonder why Julie didn't press the button. Well, it's a good thing that actively did happen, though, because for one thing, we can go over here and get this switch, the biggest, most ornate switch I've ever seen. Doing that opens the door on the opposite side, so we actually have a way to leave here. Crystal Crow number 42 of 42 right here, but now on for the main puzzle of this area. There are 2 treasure chests, one on each side of the boat. Pressing a button on one will progress the buttons from 1 to 4, making one of the mermaids move forward. In the second chest, pushing the buttons numbered 1 through 4 will make that mermaid rise. And we can check each one to open them up and see if they have the battery we need. There's a battery in here, but it's totally fried. I can't use it, better leave it alone. So mermaid number 1 is a bust. And now you just gotta check all 4 mermaids doing all 4 combos until you find the battery. But I'll tell you outright, like a lot of the other puzzles in the game where the passwords don't change, which mermaid actually has the battery never changes. It's always the purple mermaid, so you need to set both chests to the 3rd setting in order to find the battery. Though if you're low on shotgun shells, the second mermaid I believe almost always has a case of that, so hey, that's nice to get. I forget if the 4th one has anything. I don't think it does. There's a battery. It's in fairly good condition. With that said, it's not charged, so we do need to actively go charge it ourselves. Alright, Julie, why didn't you press the button? Oh, dear. What's this? It's a blood stain. And these are Julie's glasses. What happened to her? Nothing good, if that's the case. Oh, boy. Upon leaving that puzzle behind, though, night has fallen on Crow Country. Why does this matter besides just showing we're getting near the end? Well, I didn't kill that enemy. In the main theme park section, most of the enemies have been killed, but not by us. I hid the golden key inside the fairy's head. Not the pond fairy, the theater fairy. Even if you break open the head, it's in a block of resin, so you need to melt it with something. Acid would work, or perhaps fire. Now, I could have read that note earlier in the LP, but I just plumb forgot to. So what I'm also going to do at this point is, just so I'm at 100% with everything after this save, I'm going to go clean up the staff memos and tips and tricks we haven't read yet, just so you can see the full numbers of what you can get throughout the game. It's kind of similar to how do I like to get most of the files across a Resident Evil game, and if I miss one, I read aloud what I missed in a room adjacent to one where you can get it, at least. Off the top of my head, because I believe I recorded this footage about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I think I missed a staff memo in each of the 3 areas, and I think all the tips and tricks I missed were in Fairy Tale Town. That was a lot of that 2106 stuff. Oh, dear. While we're here at the staff lounge, though, we've destroyed all 42 crystal crows, so the door over here is now open. And upon entering it, Mara will change from her standard clothing into that of Zap Girl from the poster in the arcade. And this isn't just a pure aesthetic shift, as your handgun is now replaced with a laser gun that has infinite ammo. I think strength-wise it's about equivalent to whatever your handgun was at, be it upgraded or otherwise, but it does only impact the handgun. With that said, I'm just showing it off in this LP as the idea of having an infinite ammo weapon in an LP like this, even in a game where there's already plenty of failsafes to make sure you always have some handgun ammo, it just doesn't sit well with me. With that said, I'll showcase the outfit a little bit more in tandem with the bonus items that you get for getting high ranks in the game later on in the LP. Notably, I missed this staff memo over here. Can I ask why the dig site access is that cute little house? Don't you think there's a chance that some kid would want to go looking in there? At the very least, let's keep it locked via the keyhole in the mailbox. I think I missed this note on my first playthrough, if only because it's just far enough in the distance that you're likely going to walk past it. Worth noting, though, while the main chunks of Crow Country as a theme park have had their enemies wiped, some rooms will still keep them, the underground will still have them, and the utility corridors have more than ever at this point. Including the one where we got Julie out of the box. There's now several in there, although I don't think they spawn until you've done the whale room puzzle. Next staff memo I missed is right next to the theater's door, just about. The quickest way to Tolman's office is through the fairy pond area, right? Problem is I forgot how to get the stupid tree fairy to move out of the way. I guess I needed a code for the keypad and then what? I'm sure it was written down somewhere, maybe in Crow's Lounge? You are meant to find that very early in the game, of course. And here's the tips and tricks I missed. If you get poisoned, use an antidote as soon as you can. Large medkits also contain antidotes, but you won't want to use those more sparingly. Not that I've really gotten poisoned this LP, barring I think the one time, but yeah. Large medkits are technically both a med pack that's slightly more powerful and an antidote. And I think that might count for multiple heals, technically, in the endgame ranking, but don't quote me on that. That might have been something they patched out, even. Next up, I'm missing a tips and tricks here in the Haunted Hilltop. The glass bottles with red caps can be broken open at the cost of a single handgun bullet. You can see what's inside the bottle before you choose to break it. And since I'm here in Haunted Hilltop anyway, I'm going to go to the southeast elevator, as that'll give me pretty quick access to the area we need to take that large battery we got. Because it is a battery we can use, yes, but it doesn't have any charge in it. But if you think carefully, we saw a machine that had 2 clamps that seems to electrify things here in the underground area, so if we take the battery over there, we could probably charge it. Also, notably, at this point in the game, we have these weird electric line barriers in parts of the underground. They go off intermittently, but you can just run past them. With that, so you can also use them to bait enemies into them to do damage if they're tall enough, like the spindles or the lumbers or things like that. Probably some of the grinners as well can get hit by it. Worth noting, though, coming up, a trick I learned from a speedrun that's super minor, but hey, it's funny to do. When we place the battery, and we do have to charge it, and we have to sit there as it charges. But once it's fully charged, you don't need to pick it back up. If you leave the area, it just warps back into your inventory. Not that that saves you much time, it saves you probably less than a second, honestly, but hey, worth noting, it's kind of funny. Alright, that's a fully charged battery, and we know where to put this. We just need to get back up to the main hall and put that in the Crow. With that said, if you're going around grabbing secrets at this point because you missed them, you might notice something in the main area. You can get shot at. I don't think that happens in the footage at all here, which is why I'm bringing it up directly. The shots are very easy to dodge as long as you actually keep moving, but keep in mind that you probably should keep moving and always have your flashlight on, as otherwise it's very easy to get hit when you're not looking. So at this point, let's talk about the files. There are 40 total staff memos and 20 total tips and tricks. At this point, there's one we definitively cannot have yet because it's in the final area of the game for the staff memos. But if you look at the numbers, we're going to jump from 32 to 34. Staff Memo 33 does not exist. There are theories about it, but as far as we know, from both the developers and otherwise, it's not actually a thing you can read in-game, which is kind of weird, but oh well, adds some mystery at the end of the day, and again, there's theories about where it is. But it's not a thing we can actually access. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 8, we take our final steps towards endgame and see if we can truly figure out what's at the core of all of this. See you guys then.